What's going on YouTube? So for today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing my export settings in Premiere Pro for YouTube. I'll be showing my 1920 by 1080 settings and as well as showing my 4K export settings. Now these are going to be the best export settings for 2018 for uploading onto YouTube. So let's go ahead and get into it. So guys, once you're inside of Premiere Pro, the first thing you're going to do to be able to go to your export settings is you're going to select your in and out points on your sequence on where you want the export to be set in and where you want it to end. So what you'll simply do here is go to the beginning of your clip and hit the I button, and then go towards the end of your clip where you want the sequence to end and be done exporting, and select O. Now once you select your in and out points on Premiere Pro, you're going to go up to File, and then you're going to go down to Export Media, and from here is where we'll have our export settings. Okay guys, now like I said, this is going to be my export settings for 1920 by 1080p and for 4K settings. Now when I go to export, I'm worried about the quality, I'm not worried about the time. So these settings I have may add a little bit more time when you go to export your video. However, the ultimate ending export should be focused more on quality and not the speed. However, if you're in a bind and you have to get your project out quick, then yeah, this may add a little bit more time than other YouTube export settings on YouTube. However, this is the best quality that I've seen, so this is my personal export settings as far as quality. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go up here to match sequence settings, and you're going to make sure that is unchecked. You're going to go to your format and select H.264. Go ahead and click that. From here, you're going to go down to your preset, and you'll actually find now on the Premiere Pro 2018 settings, they have a YouTube 1080p HD setting, which is your 1920 by 1080 setting, and they have a YouTube 2160p 4K setting. That's going to be for your 4K quality. So let's go ahead and set the 1920 by 1080 settings first, and then we'll move to the 4K settings. So you'll click the YouTube 1080HP settings. So when you set your 1920 by 1080p settings, you're going to worry about the video tab and the audio tab. So let's go ahead and cover the video tab first. You'll go down to basic video settings, make sure that your width is set at 1920 by 1080, your height is set at 1080p, your frame rate needs to be at 23.976, field order progressive, aspect ratio square pixels. Make sure to click the render at maximum depth. If you actually hover your mouse over the render at maximum depth, you'll see that it even gives you the detail on why you would click that. So let's go ahead and show that. And it says rendering at maximum bit depth improves the video's quality but increases how long the export will be. So like I said, this is more focused on quality and not fast-paced timing. You'll go down to encoding settings, and I'm going to have the hardware accelerated chosen. Again, if you hover your mouse over it, it'll give you the examples. Utilizes available hardware for quicker encoding. Choose software only to disable hardware encoding, which may increase encoding times. I've not noticed the difference as far as quality when I choose hardware over software, so we'll go ahead and do hardware accelerated. For the profile, you're going to make sure that high is selected. And then for level, you can keep that at 4.2. This is 1920 by 1080, so this isn't a high bit coding rate. You'll go down to your bit rate settings. You have three options. You have CPR, which is constant bit rate. You have VBR 1 pass and VBR 2 pass, which is variable bit rate 1 pass and variable bit rate 2 pass. For most of the time, unless you're doing, say, an interview style where it's staying the same, you'll never want to choose constant bit rate, because say for instance a music video, you're going to have different effects, and you're going to have certain parts within the video that's stagnant and that has, not a lot of effects on it, and then different parts of the music video that's going to have more effects and more going on within the video, so it's going to require more encoding and bit rates. So the best option is actually to do VBR 2 pass, because that's going to go through the file twice. And I go to VBR 2 pass, and I select 16 as the target bit rate, and for the maximum bit rate I go to 50. And then advanced settings I don't touch. VR, we're not doing any VR videos, so I don't worry about that. I go to use maximum render quality, I click that, and then I also click the use previews. I go to my audio palette and audio format AACC, basic audio settings, audio codec AACC. The sample rate should be at 48,000 Hertz. Your channel should be on stereo, your audio quality should be on high, and you want your bit rate to be at the maximum, which is 320 KB. And then you'll go back to your video, make sure everything's set, all of your settings are done, and you'll either go to Q, which will send it to the media encoder, and you can continue to work on your Premiere Pro project or any other project, or browse the web, whatever you want to do while your video project is encoding and exporting. Or you can simply export it straight from Premiere Pro. I just export it straight from Premiere Pro. And the last thing that you'll make sure is that your output file is selected. So you go to output name and click on the blue bar right there, and then it will pop up and allow you to choose where you want to save the exported video file. And I usually send that to my external hard drive, which is my G drive. So I'll go ahead and hit save on this. Now the important thing is for future use, you can actually save this preset. So all you have to do for future use and for 1920 by 1080 video files later on within this type of music video setting or settings that you want to use specifically, all you have to do is save this preset. So all you have to do is, you already have this as a custom preset, you'll go to this tab right here and hit save preset, and you'll go ahead and name the preset that you want to have it saved as. So I'll go ahead and put music video YouTube 2018 export, and then in parentheses I'll put 1920 by 1080. Go ahead and hit the OK button. And then the great thing is that for future use, whenever you're exporting out a music video in 1920 by 1080 and you want to use that save preset, all you have to do is go up to the preset tab and look for the save preset that we already had, music video YouTube 2018 export 1920 by 1080, and then you'll click that, and then it will automatically have all of the settings that we've already gone through and discussed saved and ready to go. So all you have to do is go down to your queue and send it to media encoder or export it straight through Premiere Pro. Nothing else should be changed within your files or within the settings that we've already done. This is why you're using the save preset, and this is going to be the 1920 by 1080 best export settings for YouTube that I've currently found. Let's go ahead and discuss the 4K settings. Now with the 4K settings, all we're going to do is we're going to leave the format at H.264. We're going to head back up to preset and scroll down to the YouTube 2160p 4K. We're going to select that one, and then we're going to go down to the video tab and start changing all the settings on this. We will leave the width at 3840 by 2160, leave the frame rate at 23.976. The field order will stay at progressive. Aspect ratio will be square pixels. Again, you will click the render at maximum depth. We're going to go down to the encode settings and have this hardware accelerated again, leave the profile on high, have the level be at 5.1. Now for bitrate settings in the 4K export settings, I choose to do VPR 2-pass. And again, I'm worried about quality. I'm not worried about time. It may take a little bit more time for this export. However, once you go to upload this onto YouTube, you will see that the quality is much better. So for VPR 2-pass, we're going to leave that at VPR 2-pass, and then the target bit rate I'm going to have at 100, and I'm going to put the maximum bit rate at 300. Now why I'm choosing these settings, I know this may be a little bit crazy, but I'm choosing these settings because, again, like how I discussed in the 1920 by 1080, for a music video, not every part of the music video is doing the same thing. You will have more encoding and compression going on, and more effects, more color grading, just a lot more things going on in certain parts of the music video or certain parts of the video that you're doing. So you want to have the target bit rate be at 100 and the maximum bit rate be at 300, because basically what it's doing is it's compensating. So the lowest it's going to encode the video is at 100 megabytes, and then the maximum it's going to do is 300. So we'll find an average within the 100 to 300 range, because like I said, that video, whether it be music video, vlog, whatever, it's not going to have the same part of the video be the same as far as effects and stuff like that. You will have more parts in the video that have more effects and so forth. So you need to be able to compensate for that and find a happy average. So for 4K settings, I choose the target bit rate at 100 and the maximum bit rate at 300. I go ahead and select use maximum render quality, and then I check use previews. And again, I will come back up here and save this new preset as music video export YouTube 4K quality, and then I'll go ahead and hit OK. And now I have a preset for my 4K settings, and then I would go down to either Q to send it to media encoder or export directly from Premiere Pro. And then this is going to be my 4K export settings for all music videos and 4K settings in general for upload to YouTube. This is going to be the tutorial on how I export and upload to YouTube through 1920 by 1080 settings and as well as 4K settings. Be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone for checking out this video. Check you out on the next one.